Hey everyone, and welcome back to Is It Real? The channel for those who love horror, cryptids, and mythology. My name is Ian Ali, the creator and narrator. Today we're venturing deep into the dark, mysterious heart of Slavic folklore, a world brimming with ancient forests, mist-shrouded swamps, and creatures that will not only make your blood run cold, but will likely haunt your dreams for weeks to come. We're talking about cryptids, those elusive, often terrifying beings that straddle the precarious line between myth and reality, folklore and fact. But these aren't your cuddly, misunderstood Bigfoots or your playful, camera-shy Loch Ness monsters. No, the cryptids of Slavic mythology are different. They're far more sinister. They're born from a landscape steeped in hardship, a world where nature was both a benevolent provider and a terrifying, unpredictable force. These creatures reflect that duality, that inherent danger, in the most unsettling and bone-chilling ways imaginable. They are the embodiment of the fears and anxieties of a people who lived and died by the whims of the natural world, and their stories have been passed down through generations, whispered around campfires and in dimly lit homes, serving as cautionary tales and chilling reminders of the power of the unseen. Number 5. The Liko. Starting our list is a creature that embodies misfortune itself, a harbinger of doom and despair. The Liko. Imagine, if you will, a gaunt, unnaturally thin figure, its most striking feature being a single, malevolent eye that stares out from the center of its forehead. This eye, often described as glowing with an eerie, otherworldly light, seems to pierce through your very soul, seeing your deepest fears and insecurities. Sometimes depicted as a frail, hunched-over old woman, withered and worn by the passage of countless years, other times as a monstrous, towering giant that dwarfs even the tallest trees, the Liko is not merely frightening in its appearance. This thing isn't just scary looking, it's the physical manifestation of bad luck, the embodiment of disease, and a chilling harbinger of death itself. Its presence is a curse, a blight upon the land and its people. Legend has it that if the Liko, in its capricious and cruel nature, chooses to attach itself to you, your life will inevitably spiral into an unending vortex of chaos and despair. It might whisper insidious, self-destructive thoughts into the dark corners of your mind, slowly eroding your will and leading you to make terrible, life-altering decisions. Or, in a more direct and horrifying approach, it might simply choose to drain the very life force out of you, leaving you a withered, empty husk, a mere shadow of your former self. The Liko is a creature to be avoided at all costs, a being whose very existence is a testament to the cruel and often arbitrary nature of fate. It's a reminder that sometimes bad things happen to good people, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. To even speak its name is considered unlucky. So pervasive is the fear it inspires. People would go to great lengths to avoid attracting its attention, performing elaborate rituals and offering sacrifices to appease its malevolent spirit. Number 4. The Polonitsa, also known as the Noon Wraith. Next up, we have the Polonitsa, a creature whose beauty is as deceptive as it is deadly. Picture this. You're laboring in the fields under the scorching, unforgiving heat of the midday sun. The air is thick and heavy, and sweat pours down your face, blurring your vision. Suddenly, in the distance, you see her. A beautiful woman, dressed in flowing white garments, appears as if from nowhere, shimmering in the intense heat haze that rises from the parched earth. She seems to glide across the field rather than walk, her feet barely disturbing the dry stalks of wheat. Sounds idyllic, even serene, right? Wrong. This is the Poludnitsa, and she's not here to offer you a refreshing drink or a moment of respite. This cryptid is said to be the spirit of the midday heat, a personification of the sun's relentless power, and she's known for inflicting a terrible vengeance upon those who dare to work during the hottest part of the day. Sunstroke, heat exhaustion, madness, and even death are her calling cards. She is the punisher of those who disrespect the natural order, who toil when they should be resting. Some legends paint her as a cruel temptress who uses her beauty to lure unsuspecting farmers deeper into the fields, only to strike them down when they are at their most vulnerable. Others describe her as carrying a razor-sharp scythe or a pair of shears, tools not of harvest, but of death, ready to lop off the heads of those she deems lazy or disrespectful of the sun's power. The poludnitsa serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of the natural world and the importance of respecting its rhythms. So, maybe take that siesta, that afternoon nap, just to be safe. You wouldn't want to meet the noon wraith on a bad day. The poludnitsa is also said to ask difficult riddles, and if you fail to answer, she will attack. This adds another layer of terror to the creature, as she is not just physically dangerous, but also intellectually cunning. Number 3. The Vodyanoi. Now, let's take a chilling dip into the murky, often treacherous depths with the Vodyanoi, a creature that will make you think twice before swimming in any lake or river. This aquatic cryptid is often described as a horrifyingly grotesque old man with a face resembling that of a bloated frog, a long tangled greenish beard that trails in the water, and a body covered in a thick layer of algae, mud, and slime. He is the undisputed ruler of his watery domain, a king in his own right, and he governs his underwater kingdom with an iron fist, or perhaps a slimy webbed one. And let it be known, he's not particularly fond of humans, viewing them as intruders in his realm. The Vodyanoi is said to be a capricious and malevolent being, taking a perverse pleasure in drowning unsuspecting swimmers, especially those foolish enough to venture into his territory after dark. He drags them down to the cold, dark bottom of his underwater palace, where they become his eternal slaves, forced to serve him for all eternity in a watery prison. Fishermen, whose livelihoods depended on the bounty of the rivers and lakes, lived in constant fear of the Vodyanoi. They would often make offerings to him, tossing scraps of food, tobacco, or even small coins into the water, hoping to appease his wrath and ensure a good catch. More importantly, they did this to avoid being dragged to a watery grave, a fate far worse than any empty net. The Vodyanoi is a powerful reminder of the dangers that lurk beneath the surface, a symbol of the unknown depths and the creatures that may dwell within them. Some legends even claim he can shape-shift into a log or a large fish, further emphasizing his connection to the aquatic environment and his ability to deceive and ambush his victims. He is a creature of pure instinct and primal power, a force to be reckoned with, and a being you definitely don't want to encounter on a late-night swim. Number 2, the Kikimora. Coming in at number 2 is a creature that might be lurking in your house right now, hiding in the shadows, under the floorboards, or even in the walls themselves. The Kikimora. This is a female house spirit, a domestic entity. But unlike your friendly neighborhood ghost, Casper, or a helpful brownie, the Kikimora is generally considered to be malevolent, a bringer of chaos and misfortune to the household she inhabits. She's often depicted as a small, incredibly ugly woman with distinctly bird-like features, such as a long, sharp beak and clawed hands. Sometimes she is described as having the legs of a chicken, further adding to her grotesque appearance. If you hear strange, unsettling noises at night, like scratching in the walls or the creaking of floorboards when no one is there, if things go missing only to reappear in odd places, or if your livestock are acting strangely, agitated, and refusing to eat, you might have a Kikimora problem. She's known for her mischievous and often destructive pranks, such as tangling yarn, a vital resource in traditional households, breaking dishes, spoiling food, and generally causing chaos and disorder in the home. She delights in tormenting the inhabitants, disrupting their sleep with strange noises, and causing minor accidents. In some particularly grim tales, she's even accused of stealing children in the dead of night, spiriting them away to the spirit world, never to be seen again. To keep her at bay, to prevent her from unleashing her full wrath upon your home, you might want to leave out offerings of food, shiny trinkets, or small pieces of cloth. Or perhaps a more practical approach would be to maintain a meticulously tidy house, as Kikimoras are said to despise order and cleanliness. They thrive in chaos, so an organized home is their anathema. A clean house is a powerful weapon against this tiny but terrifying house spirit. Number 1, the Baba Yaga. And finally, we arrive at number 1, the most iconic, the most feared, and arguably the most terrifying cryptid in all of Slavic mythology, Baba Yaga. This is no ordinary witch, no simple sorceress. Baba Yaga is an ancient, powerful being, a creature of myth and legend, who dwells deep within the heart of the forest, in a hut that defies the laws of nature itself. This hut is no ordinary dwelling. It stands upon giant animated chicken legs, allowing it to move about the forest at will, and is often described as being surrounded by a fence made entirely of human bones. A grim testament to Baba Yaga's power. She's often depicted as an incredibly old woman with a long hook nose that nearly touches her chin, wild, unkempt gray hair, and a single terrifying bony leg, which is sometimes described as being made of iron. She travels not on a broomstick, as is common in Western depictions of witches, but in a giant, magical mortar, using a large pestle to steer and propel herself through the air, and a broom made of birch to sweep away her tracks. Baba Yaga is a complex and multifaceted figure, a being of contradictions. Sometimes she's portrayed as a monstrous villain, a child-eating ogress who lures unsuspecting children into her hut, only to cook and devour them in her oven. Other times, she appears as a more ambiguous, even morally gray character, source of ancient wisdom and power, offering help or guidance to those brave or foolish enough to seek her out. But be warned, she always extracts a heavy price for her assistance. Her help is never freely given. One thing is for certain, you do not want to cross her to earn her ire. She's a force of nature, a guardian of the forest, a keeper of ancient secrets, and a powerful reminder of the wild, untamed power that lies just beyond the edges of civilization, in the dark corners of the world. She is a being who embodies the duality of nature itself, both creative and destructive, nurturing and predatory. She is a figure to be feared, respected, and perhaps, if you're very brave and very foolish, sought out for her wisdom. She is a legend whispered in hushed tones, a boogeyman to scare children, and a powerful symbol of the enduring power of myth. So, there you have it, the most terrifying, the most unsettling, the most nightmare-inducing cryptids of Slavic mythology. These creatures are more than just scary stories told around a campfire. They're reflections of a time when the world was a much more mysterious and dangerous place. When the line between the natural and the supernatural was blurred, and when humanity lived in closer proximity to the wild, untamed forces of nature. They are a testament to the power of folklore to shape our understanding of the world around us. They remind us that even in the modern age, with all our technology and scientific advancements, there are still things that go bump in the night, things that we can't explain, things that might just be lurking out there in the shadows, in the deep woods, in the murky waters, waiting for the unwary, waiting for those who dare to stray from the well-trodden path. What do you think? Are these cryptids real, or just figments of the overactive imaginations of our ancestors? Do they represent something deeper, something primal within the human psyche? Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, if you found it even a little bit chilling, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more explorations of the strange, the unexplained, and the downright terrifying aspects of our world and its history. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe, and share this video with others.